Greetings, people, and welcome to another episode of GhMixMixx. Today's episode is entitled Open Letter to Osafo Marfo, or as Kofi Wayo would say, or Marfo Safo. Yeah, but I'm not here to laugh with you, sir. I'm very disappointed in you, sir. And honestly, I don't even know why I'm calling you sir. But let's take it step by step. As a matter of fact, I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse because to my delight, Ghanaians have risen up to your nonsense and dealt with it in such a fashion that I feel encouraged. I feel very much encouraged that we are not sleeping. Ghanaians are not sleeping. The youth of Ghana are awake, and there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. Because gone are the days when the politicians will just say anything, and then because we have been brought up to feel like we cannot challenge elders or authority or whatever, we'll just flow with the tide. Not anymore, sir. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. And by the way, like I said, I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse because most people know about this already. The senior minister, and again, I don't even know what kind of position that is, senior minister, just blowing money for the sake of blowing it, appointing people left, right, center. This is the same guy who told us that Ghana poached his sons from wherever they were, the US or whatever, to come work for Ghana, when there are people in Ghana without jobs. Why can't Ghana poach those unemployed youth too? Subject for another day. Let's zero in on this thing. And this is a subject that's very dear to my heart because Galamsey is a canker on Ghana right now. And we need to deal with it. And it's very unfortunate that somebody like Osafo Marfo would stand up and try to defend that nonsense going on with what he said. And then we also have people who are standing up to his defense, and I'll get to that in a second. Let's deal with Osafo Marfo first. Osafo Marfo appeared at this event where he was asked by this guy, and I know the guy, he's an MPP guy too, asked him about why Aisha Huang, or whatever her name is, that Galamsey queen from China, was not prosecuted when she was arrested, but rather deported from the country. To my utter amazement, Osafo Marfo said it's because China gave us $2 billion, excuse me, to process our bauxite. Are you kidding me?
A very good relationship with China. They're the main company that is helping develop the infrastructure system in Ghana. Is Sino Hydro. It's a Chinese company. It's the one that is going to help process our bauxite and provide about $2 billion to us. So when there are these kind of arrangements, there are other things behind the scenes. Putting that lady in jail in Ghana is not going to solve your economic problems. It's not going to make you happy or me happy. That's not important. The most important thing is that it's been deported out of Ghana. So we must not say it's not wrong. I'm saying that there are many other things beyond what you see in these matters. And everybody is wide awake. The most important thing is that we have planned this, we have established relations, and we are protecting our environment. And that is far more important than one Chinese woman who has been deported.
This is what Osafo Marfo said. Let me read it to you. He says we have a very good relationship with China. The main company that is helping to develop the infrastructure in Ghana is Sino Hydro, like they are doing us a favor. It is a Chinese company. It is the one that is going to help process our bauxite and provide about $2 billion to us. What kind of coon mentality is this? So when there are these kinds of arrangements, there are other things behind the scenes. Huh? Other things behind the scenes. The guy is telling us something. Let's pay attention, okay? He says when things like this happen, there are other things behind the scenes. Putting Aisha Huang in jail in Ghana is not going to solve your money problem. It is not going to make you or me happy. Says who? Osafo Marfo. Who says putting Aisha Huang in jail will not make me happy? It will not make you happy because you have vested interest. So it's not going to make you happy. But it's going to make us very happy because we will see that justice is served, and it will serve as a preventive measure for those who are doing that kind of nonsense. Let's backtrack a bit. He says when things like this happen, there are things happening in the background. What are these things? When a Ghanaian is arrested for the same thing, do they go to jail? Yes, they do. So when a Chinese person who has the audacity to come from her country in this case, buy up the police service, I hear she had police escort and army escort and whatnot, and then comes to destroy your environment the way she did, and you arrest her and he says because China is helping you to. We all know that deal. We all know the modus operandi of China. They're not giving you no gifts. And for you, a so-called senior minister, to claim that is unfortunate. It's either you're trying to throw dust in our eyes or you are just plain dumb. Because I am not an economist. I am not any of those things that you have on your CV. But I know that China deal is not a gift to Ghana. And so if that's your basis for freeing Aisha Huang and saying it's not going to improve our money situation, that is unfortunate. And let me tell you why it's also unfortunate. The Chinese ambassador has said that it is not them alone who have to be blamed for Galamsey. It is us Ghanaians who lead them into the bush to show them where the gold is. It is us who provide them with the escorts. It is us who shepherd them out of the country when they are arrested. So now you see where I'm going with this. That is where your statement about things happening in the background come in. The Chinese ambassador is pointing fingers at you, Osafo Marfo. Because he's saying, hey, don't blame us, blame people like that guy who, after we do the nonsense and we are arrested, free us. Those are the guys you should check. So we are going to check you people, Osafo Marfo. The thing you talk, they be nyakra. That thing you talk and your grey hair, no, they fit kra. And like I said, I'm happy that Ghanaians have come up and fired you the way they did, because now you and your ilk will know that we're not playing with you. How come there are people in jail for things like that? And then you say because China, it's not even like Aisha Huang is a diplomat or anything like that. She said she's, as far as I'm concerned, she's just a normal Chinese citizen. And you're saying that you cannot jail a citizen of a certain country because that country is giving you a loan of $2 billion, which, as by the way, is a trap loan. We all know this. That's shameful, senior minister. It's very shameful. You need to bow your head in shame. And I've heard people saying you should resign. Well, I don't think there should be a senior minister to start with. But what I want from you is an apology, right? To Ghanaians, to say that I insulted your intelligence and I'm sorry. I deceived you and I'm sorry. I and my people are fronting for the Chinese and we are not going to do that anymore. That's what I want to hear from you. It's like Tanzania. You know how many Chinese people Tanzania has jailed for things like illegal poaching and stuff like that? The Chinese, there are so many Chinese people in jail in Tanzania for illegal poaching, for killing elephants and cutting off their tusks and stuff like that. And then people come to Ghana mess up our environment, spoil our river. Have you seen the Pra River lately? It looks like chocolate milk. And you, so-called senior minister, you are the one who is standing up and saying, "Oh, whatever." I did not believe that I was hearing that at all. Shameful. So the Chinese can come up and say, "Hey, you know what? It's not us, it's you." Because after all, your senior minister is saying, it's all right, let's just let them go, whatever. Osafo Marfo, you lose guard brutal. Me, I shy for you, seriously. Let me segue a bit from this to something that I read on Facebook from somebody that I respect a lot, Erastus Asaridonko, journalist with multimedia, Joy FM, one of the journalists that I really respect in Ghana right now. But you disappointed me, Erastus. I don't know what you ate before you wrote that post. I'm going to share the post with you in a second. Erastus Asaridonko wrote. Now his post is a bit here and there, but I'll do my best to read it. He says, "Personally, I see Osafo Marfo's statement on Aisha Huang in a different light. I was happy when she was deported for this reason. Prosecuting her, to me, would have ended in a fiasco, just like what happens to high-profile cases. Seriously, the state wasn't serious prosecuting her. Some security officials reached out to me for evidence and I gave what I knew. But she had links, serious links from bottom up. She's protected by police and military. When you publish her activities and she wanted to see you, that. It was a policeman who is fronting for her. A police officer once called an editor and tried to arrange a meeting for over a story we were going to do. When she was going for her gold on Thursday at Portentin, she was led by a police escort. In the bush, she was protected by military personnel. When I followed, the interministerial committee went to seize her equipment at Portentin for a second time under one Mr. Jekum. You will be shocked the people in higher places who called that we should leave the site. So to me, no proper prosecution was going to survive. Under the same police, she controlled bottom up, and under the watchful eyes of the same people in higher places who somehow benefited from her largesse. So to me, the best thing that happened was the deportation under the circumstances. But Aisha Huang should be the last of anybody's concern. Tell the president his own people are doing illegal mining and directing the Chinese into the forest. Those who are supposed to protect the forest and the natural resources are the ones pillaging it. So why attack Osafo Marfo? Such nonsense, Asaridonko. The only thing you said in there that makes any sense to me is the last bit, where you said, yeah, we should tell the president that his own people are also doing that. That's an open secret. All these Charles BCU and all these nonsense guys, yeah, we know that. But otherwise, are you serious, Erastus? As a journalist who is a member of the Fourth Estate and are supposed to hold the feet of politicians to the fire, this is what you think, that we should throw our hands in the air because... Are you serious? Let me try and break down your unfortunate post. And I'm trying to be very charitable with you, Erastus, because I respect you a lot, like I said. And I still think that you're a great journalist. But screw your head on, man. Screw your head on, because this is one bullshit post, believe me. Let's do this. So you say prosecuting her would have ended up in a fiasco, just like what happens in the high profile cases. Let that happen so that we can point to it. Let the prosecution happen and end up in a fiasco so that we can know who is responsible and hold them to account, rather than say, okay, all right, so why are people in jail then? She had links. We all know she had links. But those are the links that we should fish out. Those are the links that we should fish out. Okay? Because we all know that she had links. She couldn't just come from China and walk into the bush and start pillaging it. She had to have some serious links to do what she did. And those are the people that we are interested in. So if you say we should just leave it because she had links, that is unfortunate, Erastus. She says serious links from bottom up. She's protected by police and military. Police and military work in an order of command. Somebody up top is asking these police and military to go there. So if we get one policeman and put them in the docks and hold their feet to the fire, he is going to tell us who sent them to go and protect these people. I mean, all these things you're saying, we know. But the meat of the whole thing is that you think that because of these things, we shouldn't prosecute her, but we should rather deport her. You think if you go to China and do nonsense like that, they will just say, okay, let's deport him, or any country for that matter, even in Africa? Go to Nigeria and go and do nonsense like that and see if they will say, okay, all right, because he's connected to some allergy, they will jail you. I'm disappointed, Erastus. One can ye. Chineni mu dahwa yembonchen. One can ye. What I say, because from what you're saying, we should just leave corruption to fester. If somebody does something because they are connected to some other person, we should just throw our hands in there and say, you know what, okay, all right, let's leave it. We can't do that. We're a country or a nation of laws, or at least we're supposed to be. Let us at least pretend that we are doing it. Because that sets a very bad precedent. What you're saying, that mentality, backed with the Osafo Marfo's nonsense, just shows Ghana to be a sitting duck for all manner of people to just come in and raid the country and go. People come in and do nonsense and we just shepherd them out. That can't continue. The law must take its course. That's what must happen. Anyways, as for you, Osafo Marfo, I think we should first of all dissolve that office called the senior minister. It's a useless portfolio. No, what does a senior minister do? What does the senior minister do? Job for the old men, I guess. That's what it is. By the way, I'm out. My name is Kwesi E, Baako. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. This week's episode of GhMixMixx is brought to you by Threadlocks Dreadwear and Roots Cuisine. Roots Cuisine is the only all-vegan vegetarian restaurant in the Kumasi metropolis. Locate Roots Cuisine on the Adiembra Atasomanso Road, 200 meters from the DBS showroom. Walk in for a hot, healthy vegan meal.